Marcel, we talked about it plenty, all about doing your job against those teams, and then 3 or 4 wide receivers get wide open down the field. How do you explain kind of what happened there?
You know, the easy way to say is guys not doing their job, execution. I take it a step further. For that many guys to be wide open, I have to question what I did as a coordinator that week. The game plan needs to be cleaner, I think. I think it needs to be more clear for the guys to understand their job. And at the same time, with that being said, there has to be the execution as well. But it's my job to get them to execute.
You just looked like took Moxie out of the game in the second half or late in the first half. Was that his issue there? Was he struggling with the assignments? Or?
Yeah, he had one that he had a hard time with, so we felt like we need to help him out and help us out at the same time. So that's all that was.
Does he go back to being a starter this week, or?
We don't know yet. Yeah, we don't know.
Obviously, Ray made a big play.
Ray made a big play.
Did you see out of Ray and Tyler as they got him in the second half?
Ray had a big tackle. I think they had option, and they kind of on the sideline. So he had a good play on the tackle, and then his interception was big for us, And then it was one of those, he had it in the end zone. You're kind of going, get down, and he brought it out, and then you're like, oh, okay, he might have a chance to score. So he did a good job for us, though.
Important, see a guy like that come off the bench and not just go out and play, but provide a spark. How important is that for you?
That's big.
Like that?
That's big. And with injuries, and I always say this, it's easy to kind of sit up here and always say, it's the injuries that's hurting us. But it's football. Everybody has injuries. And so you need your guys that are playing, no matter if they were starters at the beginning of the season or if there were twos at the beginning of the season. No matter what, those guys have to play for you and make plays. So everybody has injuries. So for him to come in and play as well as he did was huge for us.
Can kind of tell in your voice, but just how disappointing is it that you had the bye week and then you had 3 weeks basically and had some of the same problems happen again and just had these back-to-back games where you just couldn't find a way, especially in big spots in the game, to make stops. As a coordinator, how disappointing is it to see the results?
It's frustrating, and that's where you have to look in the mirror, as a coaching staff and me as a coordinator and go, okay, what are we doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? And just so you can get these guys just to play fast, and do their job. New Mexico, I thought the guys knew what they were doing. I thought the game plan was clean. I thought we played fast. Air Force, we started the game great. We started the game fast. They had the big run early, and then we had a goal line stand. Hit the ball out a few times. Held them to a field goal. I thought the key to this game for us on defense was the second quarter. We gave up 21 points in the second quarter. Air Force came out and did some things they hadn't shown before, some different formations, and we couldn't adjust at that time where it was clear to the players. And then we adjusted at halftime, and I thought the second half we played a lot better. But I think the second quarter was the key, and a whole lot of people don't look at how we look at it, but you give up 21 points in one quarter, that's going to hurt you.
When you say you got to question yourself sometimes, or you go back with the coaches and question, are you talking more scheme stuff?
Scheme, always scheme. The difference, the toughest thing about Air Force that people don't realize is they run a traditional 2-back, 1-back offense, and then they'll come and run triple. And so you're facing the option, then you're facing regular zone, you're facing gap schemes. So they do a good job at what they do. But with that being said, there was way too many passes that were over our heads.
There were a few times there where those plays happened, and Tanner was the guy chasing the guy down the field, and so
it looked like he was the one being beat.
He took a lot of heat.
No,
okay.
You know what? He was actually. It wasn't his fault on any of those. That was just hustle. That kid played great. I thought our linebacker core played good these past 2 weeks. I mean, those guys were taking on cut blocks, getting off blocks, making plays. So, Tanner was the one getting beat. He was the one that was hustling down there trying uh, uh, to help us out. So, no, that wasn't him getting beat.
Tanner looks so aggressive and so good around the field. Is he finally healthy again?
He's healthy. He's
I
healthy.
thought he had
Yeah.
one of his best games of the year.
Yeah, he's healthy. Like I said, to me, it's about guys doing their job, but that's my job to also get guys to do their job. So we can say execution. It is about execution. We thought the game plan was a right game plan. Going back, we probably could have did some things a little bit different, but it's about execution. But it also is my job to get guys to execute. And so that I won't run away from that. When times are going great, times are going great. When times get rough, I'm not going to point the blame on the players. It's everything. It's coaches and the players. So it's our job to get these guys that head out there and play hard, execute, and we didn't do that.
I know you hate to use injuries and stuff, but when a guy like Darian Thompson's out of the lineup and his experience, when did you know in the week that he wasn't going to be able to play, and how big of a factor was him not being back there on some of those long passes?
Kind of midweek, anytime you're missing a Darian Thompson, obviously it's going to hurt you a little bit. The guy that I want to give praise to is Chancellor James, because that kid has played 3 positions. He played nickel, he played boundary safety last week, and this week he played free safety. And so, I thought he played well. And for him to move around all those positions and still for him to have the game that he played, was great.
Do you think next year that James is going to be more maybe positioned to move into more of a safety role full time? I mean, I know I asked him and he said, "Who knows?" But I know.
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, do you feel good with him at safety position, where if
Yes.
you went one of your 2 guys next year back there, you'd feel good?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Why didn't Mate play in the first half?
It's Tanner's weird.
I mean, Tommy.
He had hurt his little back a little bit.
Was okay.
Yeah,
Second
he's
half
okay.
to go.
Yeah.
You guys are facing some adversity. I mean, you haven't really had to sit up here, and after 2 losses at home like this, and the fact that the Mountain West title, is not really, or is not an option anymore. How do you kind of move past this, and what's kind of the overall, I guess, morale like amongst the coaches and the players and the team at this point?
I mean, it's life. I think that's the realistic part of it is that every year we're not going to go undefeated. Our goal is to win every game, and it didn't happen. Losing 2 games at home is tough. It's tough for our fans, for our team, for our staff. Since I've been here, I don't know if I ever lost two games at home, so that's tough. But when you feel like you work hard, the team work hard, the staff works hard to win a game at the end of the week, and you guys don't win. I mean, it's tough, And so, to me, the focus has to be this week, right? The new opponent. You can't pout. You can't listen to social media and all that. I don't pay any attention to that. Because it's about what we do this week, every day to improve and not let the team that beat you the week before still be in your head the week after. So,
How do you fire up the defense? And obviously the last regular season game, you still have a bowl game, but
Right.
you're not. Really, I don't want to say you're not playing for anything, but you're not playing for the conference title now. You've lost 2 in a row. How do you make sure a day game on day after Thanksgiving? How do you make sure that the defense is ready to go on Friday?
Well, the problem is we're still a good defense. We just struggle versus the option. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we struggle versus the option. So what I have to do is, or what we have to do as a staff is after the season, we need to go out and study how to stop the option. But, we're still a good defense. I think we're top 2 or 3 in the conference. Our goal was to be number 1. But every week is different. And, we're facing a good team this week. They have a good, running quarterback, a good offense. Their offensive line is good, and their tailback is real good. So even though we lost, I know the guys are down, but you have to move forward and understand this. Things are not going to be perfect every year. you know, and as coaches, as teachers, this is when I think you really see what your team is all about.
You'd said before, Dan, we talked to you after the Las Vegas game, you know, previewing the next 2 games against the option teams, you called them, you know, your nemesis, I guess.
Nemesis.
I mean, did you feel good going into this stretch with the game plan? And you mentioned having to maybe go out and kind of start over or search for some things with
Right.
the option. I mean, did you feel good going into this stretch with your game plan?
Yeah, we did. We studied it, you know, in the off season. You know, like I said, I thought having 3 weeks of going over it, I thought we would have, you know, as far as our guys doing their job, we would have been a lot better off. But there was something missing, and that comes back to me. You know, I think the key thing, like I keep saying, is you can't give up explosive passes. That hurts you. So when you get a chance to stop and run, and then you have a long pass, that hurts you against these guys. You know, and we harped on that because we saw that the week before when they played against Utah State, and the receiver had 210 yards. So we threw a lot more passes at him this week, but it didn't help.
We talked about getting better defending the option in the offseason. What will go into that? Will you reach out to people you know that have run against this option scheme? Like, what goes into you trying to get yourself better prepared to stop the option next year?
Working on it, yeah. So go see people that run it, defend it. You know, to me, you want to see the guys that have had who've had a chance to hold it, you know, a certain amount of yards, and go see those guys. So yeah.
To have 2 of those teams in your division that you know you have to play, I mean, kind of a unique situation that you know you're gonna have to deal with that much
Yes.
every year.
Right. And for me, you know, I'm realistic. In my 2 years here as a coordinator, the 2 teams that we've struggled with are those 2 teams. So obviously, we need to go find answers against the option.
What'd you do this past offseason to attack that?
Talk to a couple teams.
What does San Jose do best? Obviously, they've got a really good running back.
Right.
What makes him good? Maybe compare him with J-Mac, with Hill, with some of the other guys
Right.
we've seen. What makes him good? And then what about the quarterback?
Elusive. You know, he has good vision. He has good feet. Their offense, they run a lot of different sets. You know, they come, you know, 1 tight end, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, quick tailbacks. They'll shift, motion. You know, they run, you know, wheel routes, reverses. But their running back to me is, and they actually use 2 guys. They're have great eyes, good vision, good speed, and if they get a seam, they're gone.
Are they more in the Wyoming style with Hill, where you kind of see him
Right.
coming versus
Yes.
a lot of the fakes and
Yeah.
moves? And
Right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Irvin's obviously had some really, really big games this year.
Right.
What has he done that sets him apart?
Like I said, to me, their front, they do a good job, and then his vision, I think, is really good.
Time for 2 more, guys.
They're 1 win away from bowl eligibility. You know, you guys don't have a shot for the title race. How much does this win need for you guys to happen so that you can screw their season over?
It's not about screwing their season over. It's about us just taking care of our business. I mean, you know, I'm not trying to screw anybody's season over, but I don't want our season to be screwed. So, you know, we're going to always practice to win. You know, our goal is to win, and that's our goal.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Marcel.